looking at how to build a better world for creators, for musicians, focusing specifically on music at first. It's been a long journey to really understand the underlying technology of what we're actually trying to accomplish in getting artists paid more and making content more freely available, but also easier to license, removing a lot of the business administration around the music business, and making it a more equitable place for artists. So turn the mic over to Alex, who will just run through a quick demo of what we've built so far. And this is just the beginning.
Hi.
Sure. Just hold that. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we just released the public alpha of the creators portal.
Of course. It's all yours.
We good? So yeah, I'm just gonna run you guys through real quick what it would look like to sign up on the platform and then potentially register an album. So when you join the creators portal, you essentially can register with an Ethereum address that will be your profile that will allow you to either be either an artist, or you could also use the platform as a fan to purchase music if you wanted to. But if you did register, you would essentially create a persona with some basic information about yourself that would then, I guess, proliferate across the platform as you either register your own music or buy it from other people. So we have some basic validation on these forms. So at this point, you're essentially creating an artist profile. So you would add some things that would be typical of other music platforms, with an artist avatar, your artist name, and a bio. So I'm not going to actually register at this point, but I will take you to essentially the Discover page so we can look at some releases that people have already uploaded to the platform. So you can see we have a bunch of music, albums, and basically direct the album titles and the artist names below. And within these releases that are created, we basically have these sort of self-generated stores once you go through the album registration process. So as a fan, you would be able to go through and then see each person's profile. You'd be able to stream music on here, which you get a little player at the bottom, typical to some other music streaming services. You get the idea. We've added some other cool things too, such as a tip button. So we did some other stores for specifically custom for other artists last year, and we allowed people to essentially tip people or tip the artists themselves in Ether, which was really cool because we found that artists actually made a bunch of money through this. People were pretty unwilling to add a little bit of Ether to it, kind of showing appreciation. But if you just wanted to buy the release, you would essentially sign a MetaMask transaction that would confirm the transaction, and then you'd be granted access to buy the release. Yep, that's about it.
This is where.
You don't need it.
Okay, great, perfect. Okay, great. Awesome. Microphone.
2 seconds.
So I'm Priyanka. I'm representing OpenLaw. I do the business develop. I'm on the business development side. I'm actually the only non-tech hire. So if you have any questions that are business related, please reach out after. I'm going to sort of walk you through what OpenLaw is, and then share our just an employee offer letter on the OpenLaw platform. Just quickly. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay, so maybe I can just click through here to give you a better idea. Let me just, I guess it's not working, but so we are essentially the agreement layer for the blockchain. What's that mean? You can cryptographically sign agreements using our protocol, and I can sort of walk you through our stack like as this presentation moves forward, but we're sort of bridging the gap between developers and lawyers and bringing them together through OpenLaw. And at that point, you can integrate third parties and smart contracts within an OpenLaw agreement. So, and the demo will make this a little bit more clear. We're transforming static agreements to dynamic systems, and as I mentioned, you can integrate third parties and smart contracts. So right now, for example, one of the members of our dev team is looking to integrate Stripe into OpenLaw agreements. So we could potentially transact in smart contracts using fiat, which is, I think, it's going to be pretty awesome once we get that going. Obviously not like mass transactions, but I think it's a really great start to bring OpenLaw to the public. And this is the stack that I was mentioning. So we're working off the Ethereum blockchain, but hopefully it'll be blockchain agnostic at some point. Then we have a special legal markup language, which I'll walk you through in one of our agreements. And then from there, you can integrate smart contracts, you have your cryptographic signature, and then there's potential applications that could be placed on top of OpenLaw as well. And this is just, again, we're talking about the current legal transaction market and how we think OpenLaw could possibly integrate itself and sort of, hate using this word, but disrupt it in a way. And beyond using and leveraging blockchain, we think that we can make legal accessibility and legal access to a greater group of people. So it's sort of just like this knowledge commons in the legal world that we can bring to other people. So similar to what Wikipedia has done, and actually one of our founders worked at Wikia, which was bought by Wikipedia. He kind of wants to recreate that as well. People can share legal documents, you can mark them up. It's a very open source platform where people can exchange various legal agreements. And just to give you a sense of where we are right now, our public release is geared to July. And right now, though, if you are interested in playing around OpenLaw, please just reach out or email us at hello@openlaw.io, and we can invite you to the testnet. You can sort of mark up whatever documents you want, upload whatever you want. I'm happy to walk you through that too. I mean, there's a lot of community members that have reached out and asked me to walk them through how the markup language works and what we're doing at OpenLaw. So I encourage you to do that. We definitely encourage that. And so now I will walk you through the demo, which I think you're going to find pretty mind-blowing. No, I mean, honestly, not to geek out here, but okay, so as I said, we're going to do an employee offer letter. Okay, so if you click this tab here, this is sort of what's under the hood of OpenLaw agreement. So this is the actual smart contract. What we're going to be running, this is an employee offer letter where we're going to be paying the employee ETH by the minute. So it's pretty exceptional. So that's the actual smart contract that's written in, but then it's embedded inside of this employee offer letter, as you'll see. And if you see these brackets here, those are variables that can be inputted, and I'll show you that after we move. And then as you'll see, there's your kind of classic employee offer letter language, termination, etc. So okay. So I will fill out this information for you, and as you'll see, it sort of updates in the agreement, which is great. Just bear with me as I fill this out. I guess to give you some background on OpenLaw, the founders, Aaron and David, have thought about this idea for years and have, sorry, I'm trying to focus on this. It's been in existence since last May, so we're excited about the release. Sorry, and also we just had this auto-populated feature that was just created, which is very helpful. So position of supervisor. So I mean, this is just arbitrary. Okay. So what time is it? I want to show you in real time. Go to MetaMask. Jane Smith. Okay. Copy that ETH address, put it in. Give her 2 days of vacation, I guess. And as part of our markup language, we have conditionals where you can add provisions of an agreement based on what you want. So for example, here we have the additional agreements, and do you want to add a confidentiality? You'll see that updating. If you want to do alternative dispute resolution, that can be added depending on your needs for this agreement. So it can be curated in a way. So at this point, you just email the agreement to the signatory. And then, as you'll see here, you can include others to edit or access the agreement. And also, we also do, and I just want to quickly mention this, I won't have time to walk you through this, but we have a negotiation tool where you can draft part of the agreements, and whatever the other party needs to fill in, you can like go negotiate through our drafting tool. We have demos on Medium, and that was just released. Our demo was just published like 2 weeks ago, so I encourage you guys to check out our Medium page and check out those YouTube demos because it's pretty awesome. Okay, so it's getting sent to the signatories. So I want to sign it from my side, so I will here. And then you'll see, should be, you'll get an email. And let me just log out of here because I have to log into the new account to finish the signing. Okay. Sorry, we're using a hotspot here, so the internet's a little iffy. So also, by the way, you get a Word document. So and then a lot of lawyers still work in Microsoft Word, so they want to save that agreement. You're able to do so, which is very helpful. And to upload new legal agreements, you can actually upload Microsoft Word agreements. So here we're going to sign, the other counterparty is going to sign. It's recording our signature on the Ethereum blockchain. And let's see. Here's the agreement too, so you get everything to review once again. So it should be recording, I think. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So the agreement
that's
has
right.
now been signed, and as you'll
I'll go
see
very fast.
in your MetaMask, in Jane Smith's MetaMask account, if we hang tight for a minute here, you'll be able to see that it has been paid. It'll be paid continuously, 0.1 ethers or whatever I put in, and it'll go directly into that MetaMask account. So yeah, that is the demo that we have here. If you have any questions, please just meet me downstairs. I've put some of our swag on the table, so you can check that out. By swag, I mean postcards with our information. So it's not that cool. But yeah, that's OpenLaw. And actually, I have my computer with me, so if you're interested in seeing the drafting feature afterward, or just messing around and having me walk you through some of the markup language, I'm happy to do so. So yeah, thank you for listening. I know there's a lot going on at South by Southwest. Hey.
What? Okay. Hi guys, I lead ConsenSys Academy, which is our education pillar at ConsenSys. So what that will allow you to do is to create all these cool applications. So what we do at ConsenSys Academy is we educate the world, and by that I mean developers, non-developers, lawyers, business school students, regulators, accountants, etc., about blockchain. We've done a bunch of in-person trainings, for example, for the World Bank, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, etc. We also are launching a bunch of online programs and certificates for both, again, developers and non-developers. So now you can get certified as a blockchain expert, even if you're not a developer. That's what my team does at ConsenSys. I will go through the presentation very fast and leave about 2 minutes for questions because I did not create a lot of slides. So you guys will do all the work for me. Great. So what I was hoping to accomplish here was show you a little video about, do you have the video anyway somewhere? It's in the thing?
YouTube.
Where? Oh, hold on a second. Is it on one of the tabs?
Yeah.
I need my glass.
I got it.
Awesome. Play. This is just an example of the kind of content that we are creating. I don't know if you can hear it, but essentially what it does is that we have multimodal content. We are creating programs that are end-to-end, that have videos, that have exercises, that have reading materials, etc. And you will be able to access our basics course on Coursera, which is available globally. It's going to be translated into any number of languages, so please pass that on if you're interested. We will also have an end-to-end developer program if you're interested in going full stack. If you want it to be a full stack Ethereum developer, that's a course that we ran. We ran one last year. That was our launch program. We got 1,300 applicants to it in 6 weeks of the application window from 95 countries globally, all the way from Afghanistan to Russia to Europe to South America to the United States. That's how much the interest level is right now amongst the developer community. So that's just an example of the kinds of content we are creating. One exciting announcement that is in perfect time for South by Southwest is that we just launched our ebook, which is a blockchain basics ebook. You can use the link there, specially designed for South by Southwest for a discount if you want to purchase this ebook. It'll tell you everything about blockchain as a technology, not the cryptocurrency necessarily, but also how the cryptocurrency fits into the world of blockchain. And it also goes into the business use cases across various industries that we ConsenSys are incubating as we speak. We have over 50 at this point spokes that we are incubating across every industry you can think of. The flyers that I'm going to circulate, please feel free to grab them because it also has the code and the discount code that's on the screen, so you don't have to take pictures. And you can find that in there. What else are we offering? I don't want to go into too much detail about the blockchain courses. The Coursera one is the one that's for everyone. It doesn't matter what your background is. I have designers on my education team. I have videographers. We have lawyers. We have accountants, etc. at ConsenSys. Everyone at ConsenSys in our onboarding process basically goes through that course / that book to do whatever their role is in blockchain. Doesn't have to be a developer. We will have the end-to-end course for this year launching in May. If you're interested, please go to our website and pre-register for the developer course. This last one is a bit corporate for everyone here who has a company or people who are interested in educating larger groups. This is our in-classroom trainings. What we are launching this year at large scale globally is basics programs for in-classroom education, advanced ones for developers, but we are also doing train the trainer program. So what that means is if you are, I don't know, Wipro, Deloitte, whatever else tech company, if you're a major financial services company, you have a CTO, you have an IT department, you want to train 500 people on blockchain, we enable that by certifying you. So every one of you can become a blockchain trainer certified by ConsenSys Academy. Here are some stickers. That's my last piece of swag. And any questions? That's all I have. I will keep up the ConsenSys Academy website.
You're not messing around. Are you like...
Questions?
I was gonna say, are you so silly?
Any questions? This is the
I'm about to do.
presentation.
Oh, sorry. Now everyone can see what I'm doing.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some time.
No, I mean my calendar.
All right, that's our website right there. You have the book there, but you guys are special, so you get a
You
discount.
also know it.
Any questions? Last questions? No questions. Done.
What?
I'd like to hear you speak about it.
Yeah. I was
Thank you. Awesome. So again, Vivek here, product and community at Gitcoin. As I was mentioning previously, we sit in between open source software and Web3. In Web3, there are a number of open source software projects that are being built out that have tried out a new monetization strategy for open source software, and we think we sit at an interesting point in between the two in order to help move the ecosystem forward. So I'll talk about that a bit. First, I'll talk a little about where we were. Before Gitcoin and before Web3, we were looking at a different set of incentives, and we think we're in a better place now. So to start there, in the past, open source software developers contributed to projects, built open source repositories, and developer tools that the whole ecosystem could use, but were never really properly incentivized to do so. If you're a contributor to an open source software platform, or if you were a repo maintainer yourself, it was more likely than not that you were doing it in your free time and not getting compensated appropriately for the value that you created. There's a leading software open source developer who said this quote, which is that it's a strange thing that open source work that I do is clearly the most impactful that I have, but no one pays me to work on it. I speak about it, but the work that I'm paid to do, no one actually wants to hear about. So that was kind of where we were starting from and where things were before blockchain and open source. So we kind of were looking at that and thinking about how can Gitcoin help solve this problem? And so the first idea that we came up with was if you have a repo maintainer who is able to fund a portion or a good amount of his project and wants to incentivize more developers to come help out on the platform, continue to build it out, perhaps at a higher pace than he could do so himself, he could use Gitcoin to put up bounties of $100 to $500 or even higher on different features or bugs that repo maintainer needs help with in order to move that platform forward. So that was the MVP thought process. Something that we have kind of grown into is just an overall ethos around figuring out how to grow open source. We think that open source platforms are stronger in a development standpoint as well as just kind of from like a futuristic standpoint. This is where platforms should be headed. Open source platforms tend to grow faster and more just in a better formation than privately. So we're excited to play that out. And the long-term vision is that we think that developers will receive work from the cloud like an Uber driver receives work today. And the way that we see that happening is with some of these open source platforms, all of which are right here. You're looking at billions of dollars worth of market cap. We can argue about whether these prices are valid and are going to stand the test of time, but billions, not millions, and that value now has an easy way to make its way to developers that actually contribute to these open source platforms in a way that prior platforms didn't have. So that's where we sit, where we are today. So I'll start going through a little demo. Let's see what we have here. So I mentioned the bounties platform. So you'll see here we have a number of repositories like MetaMask, the Ethereum Foundation, Gitcoin itself, and their Truffle, the ConsenSys Diligence. A lot of platforms use it. And the way that it works is these are just issues on their issue board, and they will stake a certain amount of Ether in a smart contract that says that they're willing to pay $35, $23, $75, $800 in order for anyone from the community to contribute to that particular issue and work it out themselves. So Gitcoin sits there in the middle, and that smart contract gets executed when the repo maintainer believes that the work itself was done well. So a lot of this interacts directly with GitHub, which is probably likely understood by the name. And you have a number of Web3 repos that are able to use this to accelerate development on their platform. So that's bounties, and as we mentioned, that was kind of the original iteration of what Gitcoin could be. But then as we thought broadly about how can we grow open source, we've kind of opened up what we're calling a toolbox page, where we're thinking about what are the new ways or what are continuing ways that we can change the way that people think about funding open source. So right now, we have the Issue Explorer. Obviously, we have Fund Work. We have Tips, which is a functionality to just pay a developer outright for doing something good for the community. Code Sponsor is a product that Eric Berry, right here, is developing out, which is basically sustainable ads for open source repo maintainers in order for them to monetize the work that they do with sustainable advertising. A feature that we're coming out with soon is called Gitcoin Grants, which is actually being built right now on Gitcoin through a Gitcoin bounty from our community. And that grant functionality would be a way for you to take somebody who's doing good work on your repo and pay them a flat amount to just continue hanging around and doing things that they think self-sovereignly are good to do on the platform. So that's kind of what we're thinking about the future. There's a lot of directions it can go, and we're excited to see what happens. That was the demo, and I will open it up for questions if we have any time. 1 minute, one question. Yeah.
Is your platform open source as well?
It is. So on GitHub, yeah, Gitcoin Co. Yeah, cheers. All right, thank you guys.